There is a rumor from Burkina Faso that early this year, in 2026, there was an attempt to overthrow the government which is led by Captain Ibrahim Traore. Burkina Faso has had multiple coups. This is based on history. I think maybe it's because whenever you feel like maybe you're dissatisfied, you just go ahead and overthrow the government and work hand in hand with the system at the expense of your people. So that is why whenever these people would overthrow the government, they would just come and please the system and please these companies so that these companies can use cheap laborers so that they can get profit at the expense of the people. But they did not see this coming, because Captain Ibrahim Traore in 2022, he took over the kingdom through coup d'etat, in other words, through the overthrowing of the government. And the system thought it was going to be the usual thing, in other words, the ordinary thing. But they did not see this coming, because Captain Ibrahim Traore is a selfless leader. We are not just praising him, we are not just giving him his accolades, but he deserves to be praised. In other words, he deserves all these accolades. What does this mean? It's based on his character. He is indeed a selfless leader. It's based on the things that he has achieved. In other words, for us to see that indeed you are a selfless leader and you care about the people, you have to deal with the system. You have to deal with these overseas companies that think that they can just come here and do as they please with our people and use them as slaves in the name of profit. So Captain Ibrahim Traore, he stopped all of those shenanigans. One of the achievements of Captain Ibrahim Traore was to nationalize the gold mines, some of the gold mines, if not all, in Burkina Faso. And you have to know that the moment you nationalize the mines, then the system will go mad. They'll make sure that they come after you. They will do everything, because now you cannot just protect the minerals like that for your own country. No, they want you to oppress your people. So while you are busy confusing your people, while you are busy like manipulating your people, causing confusions and etc., then they'll be busy taking the minerals of the country away from your country. So this is what they had expected from Ibrahim Traore, but they didn't see this coming. Ibrahim Traore was completely different, a selfless leader. He kicked out French military out of Burkina Faso. They went mad. At first, they were reluctant. They didn't want to leave. But when they realized that this man was serious about this, they ended up leaving. So now this overthrowing of the government is different from others. So the reason they want to overthrow Captain Ibrahim Traore by force is because he is not working hand in hand with the system. Because if you are the president, if you are the leader, or if you are a politician and you work hand in hand with the system will try by all means to protect you, because you are also like their investment. So now, when it comes to Ibrahim Traore, they can see that now it's difficult. Their countries now are falling down, because all along they had been depending upon the minerals of Burkina Faso. So right now, as we speak, they are mad. And one of the achievements by Captain Ibrahim Traore is to bring equality amongst the people. Because equality is not just the equality just because all of us, we are human beings. Even financially, he brought equality in Burkina Faso. So those high officials and ministers and members of parliament who were earning high salaries, those salaries were reduced by approximately maybe 50% or 40%, something like that. Because if you preach equality, these are the things that you need to consider, financial equality as well. The rest of the politicians and all these other people, they are just They are just talking. They talk and talk and talk. They don't do anything. But when it comes to Captain Ibrahim Traore, he was completely different. He changed a lot of things. He also strengthened the security of Burkina Faso. In other words, he was completely different from the others, because others would just overthrow the kingdom and then eat, then they will be overthrown as well, and then others will also come and do the same thing. But when it comes to Captain Ibrahim Traore, and what makes it difficult for him to be overthrown is because he also invested in the security of the country. So others were just foolish because they would just overthrow, but without protecting themselves. But Captain Ibrahim Traore, he's not only protecting himself, but he's protecting the entire country. But now, they will use mainstream media to talk bad about Captain Ibrahim Traore, because I know that if you are a leader, you cannot be praised by everybody. Others will regard you as their hero, but others will regard you maybe as autocratic, as someone who is not good, someone who is bad, or someone who is a dictator. Because in most instances, mainstream media will refer to you as a dictator. They will regard you as a dictator because they want to educate people, they want to teach people, they want to mislead people, they want to misinform these people, so that at the end of the day, majority of the people can tend to be against you. Then as a result, they win. But Captain Ibrahim Traore has a good profile. Even in Burkina Faso, majority of the people in Burkina Faso are very pleased with the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore. The question is, how can you overthrow such a person who has achieved such things in Burkina Faso, who is improving Burkina Faso, and everybody can see that Burkina Faso is developing, and maybe in one of the coming years, Burkina Faso might be one of the most powerful countries in Africa financially, even when it comes to the resources, because it is important as a leader to protect your resources, to protect your youth, to protect everybody in the country, because the moment people have trust upon you, then investors will be attracted, and many other people again can start their businesses without fear or without any feeling of any threat. So the question is again, how can you overthrow such a person? You must be wicked to the core to overthrow such a person who is dealing with the system. But here is the thing, you have to understand that it's been happening all these years for multiple centuries. If you are not in support of the system, even if you are a king, even if you are a president, even if you are a leader, they want to make sure that you don't enjoy your leadership position. They want to make sure that you don't enjoy being a president in that country. They will try by all means to force your early resignation. This is what they want with Captain Ibrahim Traore, because right now in their countries they are crying, and some of the people in their countries are complaining about their leadership now, because they can see that these countries are declining, or these countries are going down. So obvious, they don't want to go down just like that. They cannot just surrender like that. You have to understand that the system won't just surrender like that. The system doesn't surrender. It's its nature. So that is why in everything you do, you have to be very consistent. You have to know your story. You have to know what you are doing. And I would like to thank the Most High that Captain Ibrahim Traore is still alive, is still in leadership, because we need that alliance between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, because that's the way towards the total liberation of African people.